All right, go ahead, Raymond. Let's go ahead and start.
I don't have a sound, Raymond. So the little girl returns as the mother to the tree and provides the fruit that she planted years ago with her great-grandfather.
And welcome to the Rotary Club of San Dimas meeting for December 2nd, 2020. It's my pleasure to introduce our president, Diva Alfaro.
Thank you and welcome to the San Dimas Rotary. Again, my name is Diva Alfaro. And what I'd like to bring up today is our avenues of service. And this month, our focus is youth service. Youth service recognizes the positive change and implemented by youth and young adults involved in leadership, activities, community, and international service projects. So within the Rotary, we do so many things to help our communities, and we like to enforce and help our youth get involved with the community. And by doing so, we, if you're listening and you're watching us, please, if you know of any youth services that would be in need of assistance, guidance, bring it up to us. We love to help out the community, and we like to get the youth involved in the community. Also, we have a lot of projects that we work on, so we would love to have some of our youth come and help us do services within the community. So next, I would like Mary Ann to lead us with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to
the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mary Ann. And
You're welcome.
Invocation, Casey, if you can just with that.
Please pray with me. Almighty God, we thank you for the provision you have brought to this world. And as we enter into the season, we come through Thanksgiving, and may our hearts be filled with gratitude. And now may that gratitude spill out into action as we give gifts of love, of joy, of peace, intangible expressions to those who are in need. Thank you for this opportunity in this season to be made aware of the greatness of you and what you have provided to this world. In your name we pray. Amen.
Thank you very much, Casey. So next, I'd like to do introductions. I'll start off. My name is Diva Alfaro, and San Dimas, president of the San Dimas Rotary. I'm also a licensed loan officer, and I provide my services throughout the community. I've been a Rotarian for, I think, about 3 years now. Go ahead and pass that on to Raymond.
Hi, Raymond Foster. I'm the president-elect, current public image chair of Rotary. Who's next?
Thank you. Casey?
My name is Casey Cox. I am a health coach leading community transformation and change, both personally and professionally in local businesses and individuals. And past president of the Rotary, been around the San Dimas Rotary for about 7 years, and excited to continue to see us do great things.
Thank you, Casey. Mary Ann?
I'm Mary Ann Kistler. I'm a retired banker, and I am the current foundation chair. I have been in Rotary over 20 years, thoroughly enjoying it.
Thank you, Mary Ann. Steve?
My name is Steve Scott. I am proud to say I've been a Rotarian for 11 years now. I'm a past president of the club, and I am the current treasurer, and I'm a State Farm agent in San Dimas.
Perfect, thank you. So next I see, is that Anna? Is that Anna or is that Grace? Oh, I can't hear you. Your button is not on, your microphone.
And Anna there from the city of San Dimas is our
Okay.
Fast Craft Talk today.
Okay. Well, welcome, Anna. And now what I'll go ahead and do is introduce our speaker. Or did you want to say hello? Oh, okay. Okay. So we'll go ahead and introduce the speaker. So today I'm introducing Nicholas Domingo. He is a 29-year-old entrepreneur, speaker, children's book writer, and change marker obsessed with making strides towards creating a better tomorrow. He is currently the co-executive director of the anti-bullying superhero nonprofit, Captain Encouragement, an organization with the goal to cultivate the next generation of leaders. They do this by using early intervention leadership techniques combined with superpowers to work and inspire children in kindergarten and third grade age range. So allow me to introduce Nicholas Domingo.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me. Is it all right if I do the screen sharing of the video?
Absolutely.
All right. All right, let's see. Good old world of Zoom. Can everyone see this? Oh, can everyone see that?
Yes.
Okay. Is it sideways or is it straight up? back to, there we go. All right. Now, hello, everyone. How are you doing? Everyone doing well? Good. My name is Captain Encouragement. May I share a secret with you? I'm actually Nicholas Domingo, your speaker today. I know. Take a second. Don't tell any villains, please. That would be great. My name is Nicholas Domingo. Thank you so much for having me today. Sorry if I will get stuck in and out of the voice, so whenever I wear the costume, the voice might make its way back through. Just a heads up. This is Captain Encouragement. The video you saw was some of the work that we've been able to do over the last 6 years. I started this organization when I was 23 years old. Had a vision that I really, I want to make an impact in the world. And it came from a series of questions. Do you mind if I ask you those questions now? I can't hear anybody, just a heads up.
Go ahead.
So, okay, wonderful. So, name a football team. Just shout one out.
Packers.
Dallas Cowboys.
The
Okay.
Manchester Celtics.
Okay, wonderful. Wonderful. Now name a baseball team.
Dodgers.
Angels.
Okay, wonderful. Now name a Kardashian.
Kim.
Chloe.
Okay, awesome. All right, now name a millennial or someone in Generation Z who's a role model in mainstream media.
Whoa.
I'm gonna sound dumb right now, but what's that age range again for the millennials?
Generation Y and Generation Z. So Generation Y technically starts 1975. Post-generation, Gen X. It's 75 to 1980 is about when Gen Y starts. And Gen Z is kind of where we are right now, is Generation Z. The reason I ask these questions is the first one you had 32 or so teams to choose from. The next question you had about 32 or so baseball teams to choose from. And then you had 15 or so Kardashians. I stopped counting, I don't know. And then you had over half of the human population, 7.4 billion people. And over half of them are those two generations. I think it's almost close
Does
to
Greta
two-thirds.
Thunberg count?
Who?
Greta Thunberg.
Yeah, she's a Gen Zer, I think. So she's Gen Z.
Okay.
But the problem is it's super quick. We can name our football team. We can name our baseball team. We can name a Kardashian. But when I asked if you know leaders, and it took a little bit to answer, that was a problem. And that's what I saw. When I looked at the world at 23, I was like, well, how did we get here? People are very unhappy with the outcome of society. They don't like the way things are. But when you can't find a leader, then who do we emulate? Who do we follow? And so when I looked at who kids were looking to, they're looking to other kids doing nonsensical things. So I was like, well, what if we could create a hero who could teach positivity, who could teach kindness, who could teach leadership and teamwork as superpowers? Because everyone understands the hero dynamic, the villain, the hero. Hero rises and takes on all the bad guys. But what if we could teach real skills through a superhero? And so at 23, I'll go back and cover a little bit of my early life. I don't want to keep you forever. So, raised in a town of 64 people called Ridgely, Missouri, north of Kansas City, middle of nowhere. At the age of 6, I experienced bullying for the first time. And that was horrendous. I got dragged across the playground by my hair while other kids were stomping on me. And I was like, I don't like this school place. You guys could keep it. And as I grew up, I experienced more and more things. And then I ended up switching to wanting to return the violence that had been done to me. And I found myself in football and cage fighting and mixed martial arts and just wanting to inflict pain and anger. And I didn't know how I got there. And so I ended up following that for a long time. And I became this other version of myself that I knew that I wasn't supposed to be. I became this big, angry Neanderthal, essentially. And I'd fought in the octagon in the OFC. I had, as a football player, I was very destructive. As a person, it was actually affecting my life. And at the age of 19, I had a subarachnoid brain hemorrhage. Blood vessel in the back of my brain ruptured, ended up at the hospital. On the hospital ride, in the ambulance to the hospital, the person in the ambulance actually said, there's a 35% chance of survival for most people that get this. So I was like, these aren't stats I want to hear right now. And so after everything happened, at the end of this brain hemorrhage, I'm sitting there in the hospital bed, and the doctor comes in and says, the good news is you survived. I don't know how you had a subarachnoid brain hemorrhage. You're only 19 years old. But physical sports are done for you. And at that point, I'd associated my entire identity with Nicholas, the fighter, the football player, and the wrestler. And I said, well, does that include cage fighting and football? And he's like, yeah, those are at the very top of the list. And so I had to restructure and find who Nicholas was. And throughout society, people start to establish and start throwing labels at you, saying, this is you, you are this. And so after a few years of searching and stepping into acting and stepping into all these different arenas of finding who I was at the age of 23, I was like, well, how did I even end up as this person when I knew to my core that I was this loving, caring person and I want to make a difference in the world? I had this draw to make an impact. How did I get there? And so I started to deconstruct. And basically the questions I just asked this whole group was how I kind of arrived there, more or less. It wasn't, so direct, but I remember saying, well, what if there was a hero that could change this? What if there was a hero that could counter culture, teach everything that we hope kids will learn at school? But when you're 5 years old coming into the world and you have video games, you have magazines, you have movies, you have all these things you interact with. And this is a question to the group. What are the chances that those things are going to mold you into a leader based on what you guys see on TV, video games? What are the chances this is going to cultivate you as a leader? This is the question.
Slim to none.
That's probably one of the best answers I've heard, because people are like, nothing, just zero. Like slim to none is at least lives a sliver. So that is a problem. And so I thought, well, we'll create a hero. And so I developed a costume. And so I found someone who would make me a superhero costume. Harder than you'd think, but we made it happen. And I go to my other friend, Mark Dyken, he became my friend because I had just met him. And I said, I have this idea. I want to make a difference in the world. I have this fire, this passion. I don't know what to do with it, but I know this would be a really great superhero assembly. And he was at the school called Jamestown Elementary School. And I was in his office and he's like, you know what? That's a really good idea. Can we get all the students to the field? We're going to have an assembly. And then he patted me on the back and proceeded to leave. And so I'm sitting there with my costume. I had never done a performance. This was an idea. This was strictly an idea at this point. And there's kids from an entire school filling in a field. And so as the fear set in, I go out and I hear them chanting Captain Encouragement. And genuine fear was pumping through my body at this point. I was like, I haven't thought this through, but I know this is my calling. I know this is why I'm here. Should I run? No. Okay, we're good. Go do it. And so I go on the field, we try some things. And for those of you who have kids or have worked with kids, kids don't really beat around the bush. They'll tell you what works, what doesn't work in a very quick moment. And so they were like, that was horrible. This was awesome. They're like, as things were progressing, we're like, okay, I took my bruises, but we learned very quickly. Like kids were listening to what Captain was saying. And so it was uplifting. I got some really good feedback. And from there, we started to cultivate it. We started to try new things and find what worked. What if we taught healthy eating habits? What if we taught these? And as we started to do it, we started hearing stories. We started hearing stories of kids actually saying, well, I'm a real hero. I eat in a healthy way, just like Captain Encouragement. We were hearing these stories from parents saying this. One story that came out, and I'm very excited to share it. We went and did a signing of, at this point, we created comic books. We created posters. And because every superhero needs a comic book. So we got out there and kids really loved the comic book. And a parent came up to me and said, Captain Encouragement, thank you so much. And I was like, oh, we're really happy to be able to do this. She's like, you don't understand. My son has ARFID, avoidant restrictive food intake disorder. He will get sick just looking at some foods. You can't eat them. And what happened was his captain came to an event and he did a signing previously for her son at the school. And the child sat around and talked to Captain for a while. And Captain said one of his favorite foods is green beans. And ever since that day, when he comes home, he's actually able to now eat green beans. And then after he eats them, he'll show his mother his captain encouragement muscles. And it was like, wow, this is what we're supposed to do. This is it. And so 2 years in, I had already become a Rotarian. And I remember the first time I heard a Rotary Club, I was like, I want to make a difference in the world. And my friend's like, you should come check out our Rotary Club. We've been doing that for like 100 years. I was like, oh, that's good to know. So he takes me to the Rotary Club and become a member. And a bunch of the Rotarians actually stepped up and stepped into my life as friends, as mentors, and stepped in and helped us create a nonprofit. And we went from an idea to a structured 501c3. And I was about 24 and a half at this time. We put on our first big fundraiser. We continued to grow. We started doing really well. We built mentors and teams, and we were learning on the fly as new organizations do. And we just continued to grow and find what worked and what didn't. And we found that kids love comic books. Kids love superheroes. We started teaching new messages and reaching out to researchers and people that had expertise in this field. And we started to find a way of molding them together and getting really great feedback and really great results from kids, where we'd go back to schools and the teachers would say, yeah, things have been kind of quiet since you left. We haven't had a lot of issues. It's been really great. And it's like, well, that's wonderful. Then it works. The best news is no news, right? And so as we developed, we started to cultivate new things. We started to build, and the team grew. And right now we work with freelancers around the world. We work with freelancers in almost every continent. And we work with different people for video editing, for graphic design. And we started doing, bigger and better, because when you're working with kids, you have to up the ante. And we're like, well, we just continue to cultivate these leaders, and the stories poured in. And as we're developing, we're getting ready for our biggest event ever. It was going to be 3 days, over 2,000 kids. And then we also got picked to perform at the state fair. This was April 1st, 2020. And so as many of you know, the shutdown came. And so at this point we had, prior to that, we had done a junior musical, a live action musical. We'd done comic books. We found all these ways of reaching kids in these different niches, of interacting with them as captain. But then the fear sank in of what was happening. What happens when kids are stuck at home, for safety measures, but they don't have the access to some of the same resources. And we knew that some kids really needed what we were doing. So what we did is we looked at our front room and we said, this will work. And so we dismantled our whole living room, put down a green screen, contacted a bunch of my friends who were in the industry from when I used to do acting. And I said, how does this work? How's the lighting work? Hired a bunch of different freelancers as mentors, and then hired freelancers to do the work. And then we started creating episodes, and that's what we do now. That's where we're at today, is we started creating TV content. We started partnering with public access stations. And now we're airing on 7 stations in 7 states in the United States. And we're also airing our content on YouTube. And what we did through this is we partner with teachers, and we started hiring ASL instructors for children with hearing impairments, as well as ASL teachers, to create curriculum. And my wife, who is a co-executive director with me, also was a teacher. And so she cultivated a bunch of curriculum, and that we put in them to download for free whenever children check out our YouTube videos. And so we found a way to really reach kids. And right now we're actually prepping for season 2, to start filming season 2. And we just continue to grow through what's happened. As many of you know, you have to pivot. If you want things to change, you have to be consistent. So that's what we've been doing, is we've been building and prepping for season 2. And a lot of our focus has been video, because as you know, children are stuck at home. They're gonna be checking out their videos. They're gonna be looking at YouTube. But we wanna be some of the content that they consume. We wanna be that content that teaches them and is interactive and fun. And you can check out our videos just looking up Captain Encouragement through YouTube. And we've done mathematics, we've done science, physical fitness, calming techniques, a lot of different things that are in the realm of, you want kids to eat their greens, but you need to put a cape on it, unfortunately, for them to do it. So that's where we are today. And that's one of the things that we've been going around. I've been presenting, around the country from my room, sharing what we're doing so that we can raise funds to build basically season 2 into an epic season, so that it has a lot of post-production. We have a lot of special effects. There's a lot of green screen. There's a lot that goes into it, but that we can continue to reach children through this. And the next question is, how can we help in your area? How can we reach kids there? Because our goal as an organization isn't all kids, because we can't reach all kids in our lifetime because there's a lot of kids, but it's one more. It's always about one more student. It's about reaching that one more kid who really needs this right now. And that's what I have dedicated my life to over the last 6 years. I've been doing this for 6 years now. And actually have here's some of our comic books, Captain Encouragement comic books, where we partnered with the fire department to teach what they're doing. And that is what I am fortunate enough to get to do with my life now, and dedicate all the work that I do and how we can make change in the world. So I want to thank you for having me, letting me share my passion, and doing it with a cape on. I appreciate it. And these are the things that we're doing. So I want to know how we can help, when we can help, and see if there's a way to collaborate with your club. So thank you very much for having me.
Hey, Captain, you mind if we watch one of your videos real quick?
Yeah, give it a go. Check out the imagination one's pretty good.
That's the one I've got queued up.
Oh, nice.
Perfect.
Yes. Oh my gosh. This was one of my favorite episodes.
Had queued up.
Oh, it's going a little slow.
Is there no sound?
Oh, there is sound. Yes, I can't hear it, and it's a little bit choppy from what I'm seeing.
Are you telling me you can't hear the sound?
Yeah, there's no
Yes,
sound.
there's no sound right now.
Oh, well, that's a mess up. All right, let's try. Because you got to hear the sound.
I know. The quality looks great.
All right.
Thank you.
There you go.
Here we are on the farm. You guys having fun? Wow, you guys have some cool animals there too. What do you say we practice our animal noises? Are you ready? All right, first one, take a guess. What is it? Moo. Haha, that's right. It's a cow. Let's hear you do it.
Now there's no
That
video.
was so good. Give yourself a round of applause.
And how's that working now?
Great sound, no video.
Well, apparently,
I put it together.
Use your imagination.
Yeah, there you go.
All right,
Okay.
next one. You ready?
is it flying now?
Yeah.
Yes. What was that? You guys are so good at this game. That's right. It's a horse. Hello, Mr. Horsey. Good to see you. We'll see you later. All right. What do we have next? How about with a big scary animal? Can you try this with me? Put your hands like this and wow, wow, wow. That was like a bobcat. Bobcat. Good thing I'm in a safe area right here. What next? We're outside and what are those little... It's It's a chicken! Oh my gosh, you knew right away! You're so good at this game! Wow, I am so proud of you guys. Using your imagination can take you to infinite worlds. We can take ourselves places that we've never been before. Use your imagination every single day and you can build amazing things. It stretches your mind and your abilities further than you can ever imagine. Thank you so much for joining in our game of... That's right, imagination. Keep up the good work. We'll see you soon. You know what? I think it's time for me to teleport out of here. We'll see you later.
That's a great video.
Thank you. That was for the younger. So we have different content kind of for the younger ones as well as for older children. Some of it is more educational for like hands-on learning, but our top is 3rd grade. And I learned very early on that about 3rd grade is when you go from being a superhero to a guy in a superhero costume to kids. So they're like, yeah, I'm not buying this. So we stop at 3rd grade.
Wow, that was great. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing what you do. And that video that's great quality. That was, I mean, that looks like something I would see on TV. Does
Well,
anybody have any questions? I'd like to, so you said that you have already 1 season done?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And have you started the 2nd season?
So we've, for this season, I've called in a few favors from friends from back when I was in LA who did acting to ask them if they could, you know, do little cameos. And I've been setting up, we just partnered with the Asian Sign Language, Asian signers to do different varieties because sign language, you know, ASL is American Sign Language, but there's British, Australian, New Zealand Sign Language, and then there's different forms of Asian Sign Language. So we're trying to make it accessible for all kids. And we're having it also, there'll be like a translated version in Spanish. We're trying to find different versions to where it reaches kids wherever they're at, whatever their abilities are, wherever they come from, you know, to where they feel like they're a part of it. And we're also partnering with a few other organizations to, you know, teachers and people that can be guests on the show to where it's not just Captain taking on, you know, 3D objects. Because one of the episodes we take on a bunch of villains and they're like 3D robots that we had, you know, created in 3D where Captain fights all the villains off using his math skills. And so for season 2, we're in prep. We're finishing touching up the episodes. My wife actually has brain surgery tomorrow. So right now we're getting ready for all that. And so things will be on hold for like the next couple of weeks while she's recovering. And then we're gonna basically begin on season 2, which, you know, we'll be rolling out the episodes as we're filming. So we'll be, you know, have like 3 that are in post-production while 3 are live. So it takes a little bit of post-production, but we have a really great post-production team. So it will hopefully be rolling out in early January. That will be our first episodes. And we have to start off with a bang. So the first one is where Captain resumes battling this house-sized villain robot named Nobotics using math. And so we're going to start off, you know, explosions and such, battling the big villain, and then we're going to go into some other topics. So we're super excited, but early January, I think, is when the first episode will roll out, and next season we're going to use a lot more fitness, healthy living.
That's great. And prayers to you and your family for your wife's fast recovery. But thank you again. I mean, you seem to have, what's the saying, made lemonade out of lemons. You know, what a great way of expressing, you know, having to move with the time. So thank you again. And I'd like to go ahead and move it along to our Fast Craft Talk with Ana Garcia.
Hi, for some reason, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, for some reason, my computer audio is not working, or my microphone. So I have my video on the computer and then I'm using the phone. So my name's Ann Garcia and I work with the city of San Dimas, and I've been here for about 14 years now. I used to be a Rotarian. I used to be a member at the Brawley District 5340 for 5 years. And then I moved out here to San Dimas, and here I am. And I haven't joined Rotary, and I really should because I miss it. So anyways, my fast talk today, I'm in the administration department, and I work with housing, homelessness, and special projects. And I wanted to share some programs that we have in place right now for businesses and residents, and just kind of make people aware of this. And you can share this information out. I have it on our website also. First, I'll go over some of the programs for residents. We have a CDBG CARES Act, which is a emergency rental assistance program. We pay up to $1,500 towards a resident's rent payment for past due rent or current rent for 3 months. And then we also have a new program that I'm starting within the next week, a prevention and diversion grant program that will pay towards rent, utilities that are past due, and also deposits if they're planning to move, just so that it will help prevent homelessness for people. We also have a program for businesses, a grant program for small businesses that I'm in the midst of doing a public hearing. So it's on our City Council web meeting on Tuesday, December 8th. And the public hearing is then, so if it gets approved and nobody objects to the program, we'll be starting a $5,000 grant program for small businesses. So there'll be a micro enterprise business activity, which is with 5 employees or less, including the owner. And then we'll also have a special economic development section activity. So if it's 25 employees or less, it's going to be a $5,000 grant. You can use it towards rent payment, towards working capital, things that will help you with dealing with the public health and you're staying open and things like that, PPE equipment. So you can use it towards that type of uses. The other program that just came across my desk this morning is a big program for restaurants. So if you know anybody who has restaurants, here it's a small business restaurant. We're looking at, they have to have 25 employees or less. And this is through LA County. It's called Keep LA County Dining. And it's $30,000 that you can use towards employee payroll, working capital, payment for outstanding business expenses, and adapting your business towards state regulations and public health. So it's for, like I said, 25 employees or less, and it's going to start tomorrow. These are short window grant programs through LA County. The website for that is keepLACountyDining.lacda.org, and it starts tomorrow, or in the morning. I guess it starts at 12 a.m. December 3rd, so you got to wake up early to be one of the first ones. And then it ends on December 6th at 11:59 p.m. That's a big one. I really want to get that word out to all of our restaurants here in San Dimas. 30,000 can go a long way. Our small business is 5,000, but you know, it's more used towards, oh, okay, we need maybe tenting for outside, we need chairs, we need PPE equipment, kind of the low-hanging type of expenses for our small businesses here in San Dimas. Like I said, that's going to council on December 8th, and as soon as I get approval on that, then we'll start getting applications out, or it'll be on our website, and people can start applying for that. The other thing we have in place that I put together every other week, we change out our business resource guide and our residence resource guide. It's on our website, and we do basically all the searching for all the small businesses on grants that are out there, public or private, state, federal, local, county, And we pull all of these resources together in one document so you don't have to be searching the internet trying to find something that will apply. So it's a resource guide. It's on our front page website. Under businesses, you go to COVID resource guide, and we update it every other week. The resource resident one also. I really would like to get your website, Nicholas, on that, because we put a lot of learning resources on the resource guide for our residents. And we get a lot of calls on those, and, you know, on math and reading and, you know, just resources for parents to help their kids. And I think your program is wonderful. So I would love to get a website or some link or something so that we can include that in our resource guide for our residents. So, and that's pretty much all I have. If you have any questions, I'm here to answer. So.
Thank you, Ann. And do you mind just putting in the chat your where we can obtain that information, just that for those that are watching can get it under our chat box?
To get the resource guide?
Yes.
Okay, I'll put my email address also, and then I'll put the city website link where that is, and then you guys can, you know, get a hold of me, and I'm here for everybody. So
thank you so much.
The best part, Ann, is that it's not going to be hard to get a hold of you since you're going to become a member and join us on our Rotary. So looking forward to sharing in that weekly encounter of the. I just want to say thank you. It's usually Raymond because he's amazing, but reached out to you to bring you into the Rotary as what a resource in our wonderful city that you're compiling for our local businesses, and we will do our best to get that information out and keep it going forward. So thank you.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
Especially, I mean, the things you just brought up, these are things that are so important. I mean, I'm sure there's many people needing help with rental assistance and, you know, the small businesses. So thank you so much for bringing that up to us.
Oh, thank you.
So now, did anybody have any questions for her? Maybe one question.
I just uploaded all my stuff into the chat for you, and I'm not in the immediate area, and we are trying to help people, but thank you for what you're doing. It's absolutely needed, and I have a lot of friends down there. Once I get these links, I'll have friends in LA, so I'll share that, because that sounds incredible. Sounds like a lot of people could use that right now.
Thank you.
Anna, may I forward your email to Nicholas there so that you guys can then talk?
Just put it in there.
That'd be great.
Okay, I'll take care of that after the meeting.
Perfect. Okay, so next, fines with Casey.
Thank you.
All right, so as the fine master, we do believe that time is money, and you are important and you have money. So we would like to invite anybody here to fine themselves. We specifically set this time aside for our Rotarians to talk about something that's fine to them, something that's not fine to them, or something that they want to say that somebody else is fine. So make it something fine, fine yourself, and charge yourself to talk.
I'll go first if that's all right.
Yes, it is. Steve.
So in my late 20s, early 30s, based on some family history, I decided that 49 was probably going to be the age that things kind of went bad for me. Maybe I didn't make it to 50. It was a joke back then. Next Monday, I turned 49. So I'm going to fine myself $49 in hopes that it's not the last time I can fine myself. But what was a joke in the early 90s now is a lot more serious. So I hope I'm around for a little longer.
Steve, would you mind putting that check in the mail today?
Hey, I'm the treasurer. I'll deposit it myself.
Happy birthday, Steve, as an early birthday wish as well.
Hey, that's probably a good idea to get out the way now. Thank you.
Happy birthday.
I think I want to find Craig. Craig sent this email about another baby that's coming in January. What is this? What's going on, Craig?
I guess I'll find myself for that. But yeah, I'm having my second son in January. So we're due January 10th. And so that event the week after, I won't be able to be there for sure.
We'll give you at least a hall pass for a week. That's it.
Thanks.
Congratulations, Craig.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Raymond.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Craig.
Thank you.
I'll find myself $10. I finally moved into my new home.
The backdrop in your room is looking great.
Well, because right now I'm still in boxes everywhere because, well, here, I'll make it 15. So I hired a moving company to help me in the midst of Thanksgiving and everything was going on with business. And so the guys that showed up were not the nicest guys. So I sent them on their way, thanked them for coming, but I said, no, it's not okay. So it was very hard to find another moving company, but I did. And I was very happy with the young men that showed up, and they were like probably maybe in their early 20s. So in about an hour, they moved me completely out of where I was at. And by the time they got here, they probably took them 30 minutes to unload and put everything where it needed to be. So I was very impressed. So yeah, but I'm still in boxes because it's been so big. I've been so busy. So it's like 1 to 2 boxes a day that I go through for myself. But yeah, so I'm very grateful.
Awesome. I'll find myself I go $10. I got lots of good things to share. It looks like my middle son is deciding to go to college at LPU, which is, we've partnered with them, and he's in good conversations with their soccer coach and has a very high probability of being able to play on their team next year. Hopefully they have things going on there for sports next year. We also got a new puppy. So we got a lab puppy last week. I think Diva inspired us to start looking for a dog. So I'm finding Diva for inspiring my family to look for a dog, because we got a lab puppy and that means it's chaos in my house. But everything else is going well. So just thought I'd share some updates and celebrate with all of you. A happy Thanksgiving.
I'll give you the number to the trainer where my dog is today. She spends the day every Wednesday at the trainer's until 4 o'clock.
Send that over.
Okay, I think are we done with fines now?
We're done with fines.
Perfect. Okay, so next, Action 360 teacher mini grants update. Would that be from you, Raymond?
Steve, how many have we got 6 or 7 in so far?
I'm sorry, say that again.
How many grants, 6 or 7 requests in so far?
Yeah, I actually think it's 8.
Okay, so about 8. And early next week, I'll send a reminder to BUSD as well as Holy Name and McKinley. But they came in they're still coming in, so we're looking good. That's all I've got on teacher mini grants right now.
Awesome. What about the 4-way test?
We need to apply for that. And then we also need in January at the board meeting to decide on amounts for our awards. Casey has the email out to somebody so we can develop those 3 online lessons. But what I think for the first, what I'm going to do is put an email out to our group in the district and see if I can get, let's say 30 Rotarians to come on for 2 minutes to say what the 4-way test means to them as a means to fuel ideas for the young people who are writing about the 4-way test. So that's kind of, we're working on this and it's looking good.
So right now their district is looking for a chair to head it, the contest. Is what this is what the meeting I was at yesterday, yesterday evening. So just wanted to throw it out there. I didn't give names. I didn't say if I knew anybody that was interested, but just throwing it out there. Perfect. Okay, so we can go ahead and we'll move on to the calendar. Okie dokie.
So next week is Little Dresses for Africa, and essentially it's a Midwestern U.S. nonprofit, and they have sewing patterns, and they have essentially people get together and they sew dresses and they send them to a specific school in Africa. It's a really cool little program. That'll be next week. Following that will be the Masonic Services Bureau, but then we'll talk about services that they offer not only to Masons but also to the general public. There's lots of things they do that you don't know about. Parker Emerson from Project Shelter Box. We haven't heard from them in a couple of years. And then we have the Salvation Army that's going to come on and talk about what they do in Pomona. And then that follows the weekend is the food drive. And that's where we are with the calendar.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you very much. Next is the four-way test.
I thought we'd just read it.
Okay. Perfect.
Of all the things we say or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Thank you very much. So we finished with time to spare. Thank you everybody for joining us. I want to thank our guests for coming and giving us insight of what they do. And Garcia, I just got to say that I know a lot of people that this can help. And also Nicholas, the second you popped up with your costume, it literally brightened up my day. I was having a great day, but that literally it just totally changed my demeanor. But it's great. It's not easy having children as your audience. Like you said, they're brutally honest. So to be able to have the courage to do that and making such an impact, I think that was great. And thank you for coming on. Those that are watching, it's just little things that create better things out in the world. And that's what we're trying to show you and what we all live by. And especially the four-way test that Raymond just posted. We want to make everything beneficial to all concerned. So thank you again, everybody, for joining us. Hope everybody had a great holiday last week. And I hope you all have a great week. And we'll see you next week. Thank you.
Thank you. You guys did a great job.
Thank you. Have a great week, everybody. Goodbye.